The princess of Beijing's elite messed with tomb robbing and broke a huge taboo. Now the only way she can live past 25 is by dual cultivating with a man born with a pure yang body. In my last life, my adoptive brother Qin Shuhao stole my suit to pretend he was me and marry Li Xia, but I dragged him to the wedding and humiliated him on the spot. Qin Shuhao became the laughingstock of the whole circle, snapped and jumped to his death. Then my parents cursed me out and said I was a disaster, and they were cutting me off. Li Xia hated me for it too. On the anniversary of Qin Shuhao's death, she locked me in a room and set it on fire. Pure yang body, please. You're just after the Li family's money and status. Do you even know I'm already pregnant with Shuhao's baby? You got Shuhao killed. My child lost their father. I'm going to make you pay. When I opened my eyes again, I was back on the wedding day. This time I was bringing Qin Shuhao and Li Xia a special wedding gift. I sneered and strolled into the hall like I owned the place. The couple on stage had already exchanged rings. Nearby guests looked up, froze for a second, then shouted in shock. Qin, why are you here? What's going on? Isn't this Qin and Li Xia's wedding? If he's here, then who's the groom up there? In an instant, every eye locked onto me, especially the Li family in the front row. Old Master Li stood up first, his face dark and terrifying. What is this? The one marrying into our family was supposed to be Qin. So who exactly is that groom on the stage? Mrs. Li marched straight up, yanked off the groom's mask, and the crowd instantly sucked in a breath. Isn't that the Qin family's adopted son? Whoa, what kind of stunt is the Qin family pulling? A brother swapping in? Right? Only Qin has the pure yang body. Qin Shuhao marrying Li Xia won't do a thing. On stage, Qin Shuhao went ghost white. Li Xia patted his hand and gave him a reassuring look. Then she walked to Old Master Li and Mrs. Li and dropped to her knees. Mom, Dad, Shuhao is the only one I love. Other than him, I'm not marrying anyone. As for that die before 25 curse, I don't believe it at all. For years, the women in our family have all lived long lives. Old Master Li slammed his cane on the floor. Li Xia! Do you even know why your aunts have lived this long? It's because they married men with pure yang bodies. Tomorrow is your 25th birthday. Stop messing around. Mrs. Li's eyes went red. Xia, we're not lying to you. Your third aunt didn't die in a car accident. She died from the curse. You were born a Li. In this life, you don't get to choose love. Li Xia stayed stubbornly on her knees and refused to stand. I'd rather marry a man I don't love and live like a walking corpse. I'd rather just die early and be done with it. I watched Li Xia quietly, and it all clicked. She'd reincarnated too. This time she made the same choice I did. She'd never marry the other person again. Seeing he couldn't talk sense into her, Old Master Li turned on me instead. Qin! So from the start, you never planned to marry Xia? You sent an adopted son to fool us? The Qin family has some nerve. If you don't give us a reasonable explanation today, the Qin family can forget about surviving in Beijing's upper circle. My mom rushed up, grabbed my arm, smiled stiffly, and shoved me toward the Li family. Qin, I know you're unhappy about the arranged marriage, so you forced your younger brother to marry in your place. Now hurry up and apologize to Old Master Li and Mrs. Li. Hearing my mom, I laughed to myself. In my last life, I rushed the stage to confront Qin Shuhao. She never even got the chance to pin the stand-in groom mess on me. Only now did I realize Qin Shuhao dared to do this because Mom and Dad were backing him. No wonder they suddenly demanded a traditional wedding and insisted I wear a custom mask the whole time and never show my face. They favored Qin Shuhao because I'd only been back in the Qin family for 2 years. He was the son they truly claimed in their hearts. Blood ties couldn't beat 20 years of raising him. Qin Shuhao traded a look with my mom, then rushed to Li Xia and knelt beside her. Uncle, Auntie! Xia and I are true love. Qin doesn't even like Xia. If they're together, they'll never be happy. But I'm willing to marry into the Li family and be Xia's husband. Before he could finish, Mrs. Li cut him off and snapped. Swap what? You don't have a pure yang body! Marrying you would only ruin Xia. Besides, you're just some country kid the Qin family adopted. With your background, you think you deserve to be Xia's husband. Who do you think you are? Qin Shuhao's face was paper white, his lip bitten bloody. Li Xia's heart ached for him. Mom! What year is it? You're still pushing this superstitious nonsense? She helped Qin Shuhao up and glared at me. Qin, your pure yang body is just a scam. You definitely paid some con artist to play along. Even if you cause a scene at this wedding, I won't marry you. My husband can only be Shuhao. Qin Shuhao wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and held Li Xia tight. Qin, you said you'd let me and Xia be together. That's why I married for you. Why are you here causing trouble now? What's your problem? They set me up together, yet somehow all the blame got dumped on me. I smiled, raised my phone, and opened the texts. Qin Shuhao, and Mom and Dad too. Yesterday you specifically messaged me that the wedding was moved to the evening. So why did it still happen like normal? In my last life, if I hadn't accidentally seen a random person's wedding car video online, I wouldn't have found out until it was already over. The cameraman deliberately zoomed in on my phone, and the message blew up huge on the stage screen. The guests instantly started buzzing. I'd heard the Qin family favors the adopted son. Looks like it's true. So many rich boys want to latch onto the Li family. Mrs. Qin protects him like crazy. Qin Shuhao will do anything to make her happy. Man, Qin's the pitiful one. Gone for years, finally comes back and his parents still don't care. My dad, who'd been silent, suddenly flushed red. Stop talking nonsense about favoritism. It's Qin who didn't want to get married. He begged Shuhao to marry Xia for him. And luckily Xia and Shuhao are in love. Otherwise, they'd really be the ones suffering. I let out a cold laugh. Since when did I say I didn't want to marry her? I'm here right now because I'm here to marry Li Xia. The moment I said it, my dad raised his hand and slapped me hard. Qin, what the hell are you doing? Running away is bad enough. Now you're framing us with fake texts. After all this, you still say you want to marry her? You think the Li Qin alliance is some kind of joke? Xia and Shuhao already finished the ceremony. This has nothing to do with you anymore. I wiped the blood from my lip. I don't mind holding another wedding, if Miss Li is still willing to marry me. The second they heard I'd marry Li Xia, Mrs. Li immediately jumped in. Qin, our family only recognizes you as our son-in-law. This wedding doesn't count. Tonight we'll do it again. This time nothing will go wrong. Jin Shuhao panicked and looked to my parents for help. My mom stopped the Lee family from leaving. Since that's the case, then I won't hide it from everyone anymore. The reason we won't let Qin Chen marry Miss Lee is because he can't perform. These past few years, Qin Chen's been messing around with all kinds of women. The doctor said he'll never be able to function again. People around us started looking at me with pure disgust, like I was trash. I curled my lips, pulled out a stack of photos, and laid them out in front of everyone. I deliberately showed them one by one. Mom, are these the women you mean? In the photos, Jin Shuhao was getting intimate with different women in all kinds of poses. I paid a fortune to get these. In my last life, Jin Shuhao didn't kill himself because of me. He did it because his private life was a mess, and someone caught photos and blackmailed him. Then he got diagnosed with a serious illness and got scared, so he jumped. Back then, to protect his reputation after death, I paid those women off. I never expected Qin Shuhao to write a suicide note ahead of time just to frame me. If Qin Chen hadn't come to ruin my wedding, would I have been able to stand by your side openly? Our family of 3 could have lived happily together. I hope in the next life I'll still get to meet you again. And our child, Sha, please forgive my cowardice. Because of that note, Lisha blamed Jin Shuhao's death on me. She set the fire and burned me alive. This time I wanted to see for myself, without my pure yang body, whether Lisha could really live past 25. And the very next second, Jin Shuhao charged over, freaking out, and snatched the photos from my hands. These photos are fake. They're all edited, don't let him fool you. He went crazy and tore the photos into confetti. Qin Chen, you're the one who was sleeping around with these women. Why did you swap your face with mine? I pulled out a USB drive. The originals are on here. If you say I forged them, then let a professional examine them. Let's see who's actually lying. Panic flickered in Qin Shuhao's eyes as he grabbed Licia's shoulder to explain. Qin Chen put these photos together just to drive a wedge between us. The only one I love is you. How could I ever touch another woman? You believe me, right? Licia nodded firmly, then looked up at me. Her eyes were full of mockery. Qin Chen, you think ruining Shuhao's name will make me marry you? Then you're dead wrong. I'd rather become a nun than marry you. Mrs. Qin already said it. Your private life is the messy one. Stop embarrassing yourself. I chuckled softly. Qin Shuhao, do you dare go to the hospital with me and get checked? Let's see who's actually got the problem. Qin Shuhao's breathing hitched, his fingers clenched tight. I didn't wait for his answer. Licia called in the family doctor. Qin Chen, you really won't give up until you hit the wall, huh? Fine. Today I'll make you give up for good. While Qin Shuhao looked panicked, I went first, following the male doctor into a lounge for an exam. Half an hour later, the doctor shook his head at Licia. I looked at Qin Shuhao, who was holding Licia. Qin Shuhao, your turn. He was sweating bullets. I don't even need an exam. Because Xia is already pregnant with my baby. Doesn't that prove everything? The moment he said it, I raised my voice like I was shocked. The Lee family and I only got engaged 7 days ago, and now you're saying Miss Lee is pregnant? So what, you two were in on this together the whole time? If you told me you and Licia were together, I never would have agreed to this marriage deal. And you too, Licia, if you were already with Qin Shuhao, why did you agree to marry me? The guest's expressions got even more dramatic. Looks like Qin Chen was the one being used. From the beginning, Qin Shuhao was the one trying to marry Miss Lee. Oh my god, Qin Chen is seriously pathetic. If I were Qin Chen, I'd storm this wedding too. Licia didn't care at all. She shyly snuggled into Qin Shuhao's arms. Shuhao, didn't you say you can't tell anyone in the first 3 months? Mrs. Lee was so angry her chest heaved. She pointed at Licia and yelled, "Get rid of that baby now! Your father and I will never acknowledge it. No matter what, you must marry Qin Chen. Without Qin Chen, you and that baby won't live past tomorrow. Sha, we're your parents. Why would we ever hurt you? Just listen to us this once." Licia clutched her stomach tightly. This is my baby with Shuhao. If the baby's gone, I'm not living either. I already married Shuhao. No one is splitting us up. Aren't you just trying to use Qin Chen's body to get rid of the curse? Then I'll just sleep with him tonight. Problem solved, right? Hearing that, Qin Shuhao's face twisted instantly. Qin Chen is my brother in name. If you married me, you're my wife now. How can you sleep with him? Didn't you say the curse was fake? Licia stared at me coldly. I think you're filthy. Of course I don't want him touching me. But he keeps shamelessly insisting on showing up, doesn't he? Her shamelessness actually made me laugh. You want me to stay with you for a night? You've got guts. I looked to them. Mrs. Lee, Old Master Lee. Since everything's clear now, go ahead, keep the wedding going. I won't disturb you. I set the USB drive on the table and curled my lip into a smile. Miss Lee, take this gift back and watch it carefully. With that, I turned to leave. Behind me came Qin Shuhao and my parents' furious shouts. Qin Chen, if you walk out today, don't you ever come back. We don't recognize you as our son. Don't try to drive us apart. Shush, she won't believe you. I ignored them and kept walking, never looking back. That night, Qin Shuhao texted me, trying to provoke me. Qin Chen, you're seriously pathetic. Your real parents only like me. Even your fiancé won't marry anyone but me. Tell me, what's the point of you even being alive? And that dowry and those shops the Lee family promised you? Licia already transferred every last bit of it to me. Mom and Dad cut off your allowance too. You're broke, flat out broke. If you beg me, maybe I'll toss you a little money to live on. Reading his text, I could practically see his smug face. I walked out of the bathroom and asked the woman lying on my bed. Leaning, someone says I'm broke now, dead broke. Would you look down on me for it? Leaning smiled and handed me all her bank cards. Young Master Qin, you saved my life. Everything I have, my money and myself, it's all yours. I was about to speak when the clock on the wall struck midnight. The next second, Licia called me. Her voice was unbelievably weak. Qin Chen, please save me. Right after that, Qin Shuhao's panicked voice came through the line. Sha! Why does your face look so bad? Don't scare me. Licia forced out her last bit of strength and said, I believe the curse is real now. Qin Chen, you're the only one who can save me. Come to the Lee house, right now.